Thank you, Kavya. Thank you, Cafe Mutual, for this opportunity. Today we are going to talk about what has worked for equities in India, and the genesis of this entire presentation stroke white paper is the fact that we at Union Mutual Fund would want to identify which are the how can we bring in more science to the art of investing. So the overall research objective is to understand whether quant or factor investing has worked in India, because you would have noticed a lot of academic studies which have published data regarding quantitative investing, predominantly from for various advanced markets, but we have very limited data whether quant or factor investing has actually worked in India. And after that, we also wanted to check that which are those factors which have worked, which are those parameters which have worked. So there are a whole host of parameters which various academics have published over a period of time. So we have tried to backtest and check which are the ones which have worked in India. And based on our research, we have identified the 4 factors which have had a meaningful impact on equity returns in India, or in other words, they carry a premium in terms of portfolios. So these are growth, quality, value, and momentum. Before we dive into the results and more about the study, a brief note on the research methodology and how we have actually arrived at this conclusion. So first, our measure of central tendency was median. We did not take a simple average. We took a median because that's much more stable measure of central tendency. It's robust and it's not influenced by too much of outcomes. We have taken a fairly long time period of about 10 years, data starting from 2010 onwards. Our data set is fairly comprehensive, consisting of more than 1,100 companies. A unique feature of this study is that we have divided the entire set of companies by sectors based on the common global industry classification system. And the overall universe is, when we talk about universe median or universe averages, remember, it is not the same as the index returns. It is very different because this is an equal weighted return in simple words. So let's dive into the 4 factors without further ado to see which have worked and how they worked. So first we talk about the growth factor. So what is growth factor? Growth is simply what is the growth in core earnings of a company. To put it simply, we divide the entire universe of 1,100 plus companies into 2 parts. The first part is of companies which have grown at a faster pace, and the second part is of companies which have grown at a slower pace. Now, once we do that, just look at an illustration. For example, we have actually also looked at retrospective, which means backward-looking study, and we have also looked at a forward-looking study. So first we talk about backward-looking study. We create a portfolio using growth rates of companies based on reported historical growth rates. Now, for example, if there is a, let's say, an IT company which has grown its profits by 25% CAGR over calendar year 7 to 10, then when we are creating a portfolio for calendar year 10, we look at the historical data and then create the portfolios. And as I said, portfolios which have above average growth rates are called portfolio A, and portfolios which have below average growth rates are called portfolio B. And in this case, you would notice that when we just create portfolios using historical growth rates, it doesn't create a meaningful outperformance, which means the markets have not differentiated if you just look what was the historical growth rates and created portfolios. So we looked at what happened when we looked at the future growth rates. And here is the magic. When we look at, or if you are able to forecast what is the future growth rate and then create portfolios, it makes a huge difference. For example, if you create two sets of companies, the first set is of companies which are expected to grow faster in the next 3 years, and the other set is of companies which are expected to grow at a slower pace compared to the first set. When you do this, the set of companies which are expected to grow at a faster pace has done much better than companies which are expected to grow at a slower pace. Remember, we are not using any other aspects like valuation or quality, etc. Simply looking at future growth rates has helped deliver material outperformance. And hence, this is the first big conclusion. Business growth is a very strong predictor of future stock returns, and growth premium exists in Indian market. Future growth has a much stronger influence on future returns. So you can't simply look at historical growth rates, create portfolios. It won't help. We move on to the next factor, which is the quality factor. So quality factor mein we are talking about companies which are having a good business quality. So what business quality ka matlab kya hota hai? It means companies which have an ability to produce high returns on capital employed. And when we are looking at all of this data, we remove a lot of extraordinary items, etc., to ensure that we are looking at the core data. So a company which is having a better return on capital is called a good quality company, and a company which has a weaker return on capital is called a poor quality company. Once again, we looked at two aspects. One is, if I create portfolios just looking at the historical quality or historical return on capital, what is the outcome? So we create set of portfolios. First set of companies, good quality return on capital based on past performance. Based on this, we get a very weak outcome. If you look at various portfolios over the 7-8 year, 3-year rolling returns we have looked at from calendar year 13 to calendar year 20, the outperformance of good quality over poor quality, while it is substantial in some of the years, there have been certain years in which good quality has also underperformed. So it's sort of a weaker outcome. But what happens when you look at the future? Once again, here it tells you that looking at the future quality, which means if a company is loss making today or previous year or year before that, that is having a much lower importance compared to looking at the future. And hence, if you are able to identify companies which are going to have a superior return on capital over the next few years, that is a far superior parameter than just looking at the historical numbers. So even cyclical companies, let's say you have looked at some commodity company, let's say a steel company which has reported very good return on capital employed now, it may not help, simply because you need to ensure that such companies also deliver good return on capital employed in the future. And hence, future quality is far more important. As you would notice, if you create portfolios using good quality companies which are expected to report higher return on capital employed in the future, they have certainly outperformed weaker quality companies. So what's the conclusion here? Business quality is a very strong predictor of future stock returns. Future quality of business is far more important than past. Just like growth factor, we just looked at the growth factor. Similarly, future business quality has a far stronger influence on future returns than past. And hence, when we create portfolios, we need to have a clear outlook on what is the potential quality of the company going to be in the future rather than what it has done in the past. And hence, we have all of these importance of disruption, etc. So companies whose businesses have been disrupted, clearly they have had a good run in the past. Their business quality was good, but maybe they will not produce good returns because their future business quality is going to be weak. So that's another conclusion. Now we move to the third factor, which is the value factor. Value factor, I think it's really popular. It simply means whether cheap companies do better than expensive ones. So when we looked at both the types of studies, which is looking at historical valuation versus forward valuation. So this first slide talks about historical valuation. So when we just create portfolios looking at historical valuation, and here we looked at EV by EBIT, which is entity value divided by earnings before interest and tax, which is a far more cleaner ratio and removes the impact of any leverage. So based on when we look at this valuation and create cheap portfolios, valuation or cheap portfolios have definitely delivered superior returns on a rolling 3-year average over the last 10 years. So clearly a disciplined approach has helped when you are looking at even the historical data as far as valuation is concerned. However, when you looked at future valuation, that is 1 year forward EV by EBIT, and created two sets of portfolios. Portfolio A, which is a cheaper portfolio, and portfolio B, which is an expensive portfolio. Clearly cheaper portfolios have done better over expensive ones. And once again, this is clearly an outcome of the data which we have analyzed for all of these companies. And finally, before we move on to the fourth factor, the conclusion. Value premium exists. I think later there have been a lot of discussions on whether value works or not works. Clearly, this study highlights that buying cheaper companies has delivered superior returns compared to simply expensive ones. And forward-looking valuations have a much stronger influence on future returns than trailing valuations. So once again, these are the two big picture conclusions. Finally, we talk about the momentum factor. This is the most controversial factor. Momentum simply means a company whose share price has done well in the past will do better in the future as well. So we tested this hypothesis using some traditional momentum factors, and the conclusion was, yes, momentum has also worked in India. Clearly, it has helped outperform or create portfolios which are outperforming over almost 7 out of 10 times in the last 10 years. So the big picture is that, yes, momentum premium exists in India, and momentum has delivered the best performance based on retrospective data amongst the 4 factors analyzed in this study. And finally, my conclusion and a synopsis. If you look at the retrospective data, or if investors create portfolios using historical data, as you would observe, a disciplined approach helps, but creating outperforming portfolios is not going to be as rewarding as looking at future data. So when you look at future growth, for example, you have the ability to generate the best returns, followed by quality, and then followed by value. One important thing, I think there has been a lot of discussion on quantitative versus fundamentals. One of the things which we concluded is that such discussions are of limited use, simply because both quantitative and fundamental investing works. And importantly, when you use quantitative analysis to create portfolios out of fundamentally selected data, or as we call as a quantamental approach, according to us, that might be the best suited approach to deliver superior performance over a period of time based on this study. So I would conclude here, and if there are any questions, I would take it. Thank you.
Okay, Vinay, that was a very interesting perspective on quant investing. Now, I have one very simple question for you. You have covered 4 important factors, parameters. Okay, growth, value, momentum, and quality. Okay, Now, if obviously there would have been other parameters which would have also been this thing. If you were to kind of quantify the importance of these four parameters, then what percent would you give? What weightage would you give to these four factors put together?
Yeah, sure. So I think, Prem, based on this study, based on purely the historical data of what has worked in the last 10 years, you can conclude that looking at future growth has delivered the best returns. This is followed by looking at the future quality. So growth followed by quality has worked the best.
Yeah. Okay. No. My question was a little different. These are four parameters among many other parameters you would have looked at. These were the four important determinants, if I can say that.
Yes. These are the four important parameters which have worked.
So what weightage would you give it cumulatively?
It is, I would say that it is difficult to mix all of these, because as you would notice, multi-factor funds or multi-factor indices have not done as well as single factor indices. So deliberately we have tried not to mix each of these factors, so that a clear unbiased view is available for actually which factor has in isolation worked better. So it is up to investors then to mix and match these factors to create portfolios which can potentially be outperforming portfolios.
Okay. And in your own management of your own funds, what importance does this quant investing or this particular approach play?
It's an important research frame, and we are also trying to put it in commercial production. As you would notice, just like in pharmaceutical terms, we had done a lot of research and development. It has gone through phase 1, 2, 3, and now it's got commercialized. So we would soon be coming back on how are we planning to utilize this quantamental approach in our
which would be in the shape of a different product altogether.
Or it may be in the form of adopting it in research
as a part of a process
altogether. Absolutely.
Okay. So this would be one more approach applied in combination with other approaches.
Yeah. So the entire investment process would start having a quantitative approach or quantamental approach.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vinay, for that lovely presentation.
Thank you, Prem. My pleasure.
Over to you, Kavya.